Hello, beautiful people. This will be our first video of 2024. And this is 6.4b tables with something extra. So this video is really going to focus on a topic we've already learned, and it's going to just show you what to do when you see a question like this on the STAAR test. So I know there's so many different tables that we see on STAAR, and so we wanted to take a minute to talk to you about what do you do when you see a table on the STAAR test, like what strategy are we using? How will I know to use that strategy? So specifically, this is tables with something extra. So that something extra is really important. Okay, so clearly I have a table, right? And I'm reading through my problem. It says at a grocery store, the ratio of the number of apples sold to the number of bananas sold is 2 to 3. So that's some extra in my problem that's outside of the table, okay? So it says complete the table to show the relationship between the number of apples sold and the number of bananas sold. So I know Ms. Cups just talked to you about the word relationship. However, in this case, we're not looking for the rule. We are going to use the rule they already gave us, which is 2 to the 3, which again was a ratio. So there's something extra in this problem will be a ratio, specifically for this problem 2 to 3, and that's 2 apples for every 3 bananas. Okay, so when we see a ratio in a problem, we should either skip count or butterfly. So in this particular situation, I'm not trying to see if something is equivalent, right? We check for equivalency when we butterfly. And so because I'm not looking for something to be equal, I'm not going to butterfly on this problem. I'm looking to skip count, and I'm trying to find my missing pieces, okay? So I'm going to take my ratio of 2 to 3, and I'm going to come over here to the side, and I'm just going to skip count. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. So we can see we can keep counting by twos as far as we need to. Clearly my first one should be a 12, right? Apples was first in our ratio. So I need my apples to reach the number 12. All right, and once it reaches the number 12, then I'm going to skip count my bananas, which is the right side of my ratio, all the way down until I see what would be next to 12. So I have 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, and 18. Okay, so 18 is going to be my first answer in my first blank. Again, all I did to get that was skip count. And the reason I knew to skip count was because they gave me a ratio and they said the word ratio when they gave me a table. So anytime you see a table, we're looking for something extra. Okay? So if I was to keep going, I could skip count all the way to 90 if I needed to reach my other side. Okay? And you can do that. That's a lot of skip counting. So I could continue this on and on and on. But because that is such a large number, 90, what I am going to do is I am actually going to put my ratio underneath my problem like this. So 2 apples for every 3 bananas. And I am going to just solve like a WKU. So I'm done with the stuff up here now, and I'm just focused on this bottom section. So I can literally pretend it's a WKU. This would be my X. So I have 2 times 90, right? 2 times 90, which equals 180. And then after that, we would divide by 3, okay? And 180 divided by 3 is 60. So my blank here will be 60, which is that answer there. Okay, so again, even though this one did say that beautiful word relationship like Ms. Cups talked about, because it gave us a ratio and the word ratio, this is more important than that word for this problem. So we're going to use the ratio to actually solve. We're going to use the 2/3. We're going to skip count it as far as we can. Again, if you wanted, you could skip count all the way down to the 60 and the 90 if you wanted to, if that's easier for you. But because these were such huge numbers, such big numbers, I went ahead and I just made it like a WKU where I use my ratio underneath and I cross multiplied and divided. All right, so that is what you do with something extra as a ratio. So now let's look at what do you do when there's a table, okay? And this time the something extra is a number, so number 36. So it says the table shows the time Marcus worked and the amount of money he earned. So we can see time is here, he's worked all these hours, and this is the amount of money he's earning for working those hours. So it says, based on the information in the table, so we know we're using the table, how much will Marcus earn if he works 36 hours? So again, the something extra that goes with this table is going to be an extra number. So what is the something extra? It is just another number. Okay, so in this case, 36 hours. Okay, which means we're definitely going to use 36 hours to solve this problem. And when we see a table with an extra number, we need to set up our WKU. So because the something extra was a number, it tells me I'm going to set up a WKU. Again, over here, the something extra was a ratio, which told me to skip count. All right, so let's set up our WKU for this one with our extra number. So first, we always start off with our words. So our words for this problem come straight from our table. We have hours and dollars. So I have hours over dollars. And again, I just put them in the same order they were in. And then our K, what do we know? Well, we know the table. So I am going to just pick a piece of the table. I like the 12 and the 93. Those are friendly numbers for me, 12 hours and $93. But again, if you wanted to pick a different piece that you thought was more friendly, you could definitely use any of these pieces. I would not use this one or this one just because of the decimal. I wouldn't want to mess with the decimal. And then what is our unknown? Our unknown is our question. Well, we have 36 hours. So hours was on top, so I'm going to put 36 on top, and we're looking for how much money that would be. So again, how did I know to set up a WKU? Because I had a table and an extra number. So I'm going to cross multiply 93 times 36, and then I'm going to divide by 12. So I have 93 times 36, and just for the purposes of time, I'm not going to multiply that on screen. I'm going to get 3,348, and then I am going to divide by 12. And when I divide by 12 again, just for the purposes of time in this video, I divided and I got $279. So again, when you see a table on STAAR, because there are so many, make sure you're looking, do I have something extra outside the table to help me? Yes, in this one I had a number, so I'm going to WKU. In this one I had a ratio, so I skip counted. All right, so always look for those things when you are working with a table on STAAR.